What's up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's DripGodDero, and I'm back at you guys with another bang. So, in today's video, I want to talk about how to bounce back from being broke. Now, we've all been there. We've all been down bad. We've all been broke. And like I said in this video, I just want to give you guys some steps on how to bounce back. You might have, just did a bid. You just got out of prison or jail. So you down bad. You might have just lost your job, A lot of people losing their jobs in this economy. So you down bad because you didn't have an emergency fund. And with that being said, hey man, a lot of people need this message. So, hey, without further ado, let's get to it, man. Let's talk about number one. The first way to change your situation if you broke is to understand that being broke is only temporary. Now, I have the quote for today, and that quote is, being broke is a temporary situation. Being poor is a state of mind. And that is a quote from Mike Todd. Shout out to him. And it's the truth, man. Being broke usually is a temporary situation, because most of the time when you're broke, you can bounce back. But if you don't have a good mindset financially, then you'll end up being poor. Now, what is a good mindset financially? A good mindset financially is building up a savings, an emergency fund. That's part of having a good mindset financially. A good mindset financially is investing into things that can generate you more revenue, be it the stock market, be it your business, whatever it is. And like I was saying, to bounce back from being broke, you got to change your mindset. You can't be one of these dudes that's out here spending your last on some bullshit, spending your last on some Jordans, spending your last on a chain, spending your last on dumb shit. You got to really take a look at your finances and figure out what you can spend and what you can save for a rainy day. Because, let's be real, a lot of us end up broke because we don't have any emergency funds. I'm going to say it again. The reason that a lot of people end up broke is because they don't have any emergency funds. So that's number one. Change your mindset financially when it comes to the money that you bring in. Make sure you build up some type of emergency fund so that you don't end up being poor. Once again, it's a difference between being broke and poor. If you broke, you can bounce back. If you poor, you just screwed. I'm going to just keep it real. If you poor, you just screwed. So that's number one on how to bounce back from being broke. At number two, the second way to bounce back from being broke is to reach out to others. Now, what I mean by that, a lot of y'all have this I could do bad on my own mindset, and that's not the way, man. That's not the way. If you're really struggling, you need to ask for help. Like they say, a closed mouth don't get fed. So, hey, man, if you got a homie, a friend, family members that's doing good, I'm not saying go out and beg for them. Can you give me $1 on some bum shit or on some homeless shit? I'm saying, hey man, is your job hiring? That's something you could be asking those other individuals who doing good. Is your job hiring? Is there any way you could put me on at this job? I'm a hard worker. I'm just trying to get back on my feet. Not asking for shit and not being willing to put in the work. It's plenty of people who are asking for shit but not putting in the work. Like I said, you see it time and time again when you driving across the street. You see a homeless dude who just holding up a sign. Give me food, give me money. Nah, man, you gotta be willing to put in some work too. You gotta be willing to put in some work too. And that just reminds me of that one video that Meek Mill got clowned for, where he had the homeless dude doing push-ups before he gave him the money. And a lot of people were mad at him, but me personally, I respected it because if you want my dollar that I work hard for, I need you to put in some type of work as well. And that's the mentality you got to have if you're broke. If you asking for help, you got to be willing to put in the work. Let's say that you just got out of prison, you just got out of jail, you stand with your mom, you stand with your sister, your family member, whoever. While that person at work, you need to be doing all the job applications you can and making yourself valuable to that person you stand with by making sure the dish is clean, making sure the home clean. I know you might not like that, but when you broke, when you down bad, that's what you gonna have to do to get out of that situation. You can't be out here bombing around, bro. Being broke is temporary. So with it being temporary, nigga, you need to be working as hard as possible and providing value to the people that you are asking for help to. Simple as that. Simple as that. So that's number 2 right there, man. You gotta ask for help. Closed mouths don't get fed, man. You gotta ask for help, and you gotta be willing to work for that help. At number 3, you gotta drop the ego, man. You gotta drop the ego. A lot of people who are broke, because prior to them becoming broke, they were in a higher position. They aren't willing to, lower their standards. They're not willing to, take less. And if you broke to come back up, like I said, it's a temporary situation. You may have to take less. You may be that dude who was making $100K and then your job laid you off. Now you struggling. You don't know what to do. You might have to take that $50K job. You might have to take that 50% cut just to pay the bills. And that's completely fine. That's completely fine. But while you're at that company that's paying only $50K, half of what you were making prior, you need to still be working, still be building, still be, looking for better opportunities. That's what it's all about. It's about continuing to build. Yeah, you might be struggling right now, but if you are continuing to put in the work and continuing to build, you will definitely come up. So that's number 3, man. You gotta lower that ego. You gotta lower your standards, man. You might be struggling right now. You broke right now, and you might have had better days. But hey, if you broke, that means that you gotta, lower them standards, get whatever you can so that you can move up and not be broke, because nobody wants to be broke. And at number 4, the final one, is that you got to lower your expenses, lower your debt. Now, what I mean by that, a lot of times we end up broke not because of our salaries when it comes to our jobs, not because of our income when it comes to our jobs. Most of the time we end up broke because the amount of debt and the amount of expenses that we have on a monthly basis, man. You see plenty of people who paying $1,000 car notes for a car that they can't afford. They getting the 2024 Benz, the 2024 Escalade, and they can't even afford the shit. And with that being said, you might just have to let that car go. You might have to let it get repoed because you cannot afford it. Lower that expense, man. Lower that expense. You can't be making dumb financial decisions when it comes to, just your life in general. You can't, or you will end up broke. You can't be out here getting these crazy car loans, with the 11 and 12% interest rates. Can't be out here, living above your means, buying shit that you do not need. Simple as that. Buying shit that you do not need, man. You don't need the Jordans. You don't need the gold chain. You don't need, you don't need to go to the club every weekend. You don't need that goofy shit. That's the goofy shit, man. You don't need all that. You need to focus on them bills, make sure them bills paid, and make sure you putting some money into your investments and your emergency fund. That's all you need. Of course, we all want to have fun. We can have fun. But at the same time, if that emergency fund, account ain't looking right, hey, man, you not having fun. You might not have fun that whole 6 weeks. You gonna have to sacrifice. You might not be able to have fun, might not be able to go to the club, might not be able to take no trips for the next 6 months. But, hey, once you build out that emergency fund, I promise you, it'll feel so much better. And I promise you, you won't end up broke because you got something to fall back on. But, hey, if you enjoyed this video, you already know what to do. Like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the motherfucking channel. Y'all already know if I'm in front of this camera, I'm here to help you mentally, physically, or financially. So, hey, fuck with your boy, like the video once again, and I'm out. Peace.